Good morning. This is the morning brief. Basically, I'm looking to the markets to get an idea what's going on and what to expect on the open today. It is raining. I mean, this has been one of the wettest springs I can ever remember here in the Midwest. Oh, it's unreal. Rain, rain, rain. I got a moat all the way around my house. At any rate, what I'm seeing here, a good target to be looking for. I've got a downtrending channel, and the 50% fib would put us right at the 2600 level, and that on all three of my charts here, I'm seeing some resistance here, and that would be weekly value area low. So my first target for the day is to see a rally up to the 2600 mark for this morning, and we'll go from there. A lot of reason, and we are at our daily pivot. So, and on our pivot basis, the middle pivot would be 2612. So that'll give you a secondary, and our third, and then the pivot for the weekly pivot for last week, that where we should have been trading for this week was the 2617. So if we do catch a significant bid in the markets today or a short squeeze, 2617 would be my another third target for the markets. So just keep that in mind. That's where most of the value last week did go off the 2617 level. But we'll start with 2600 and go from there. In the Qs, things are even looking better here. We're already into last week's value, so there are opportunities in the NASDAQ today. So I'm looking towards the FANG stocks for some potential upside. This is the buy point. Since we're already in the value, 65.13 would be our first target for the value point of control for last week. And if you look at our pivots right here, 6500 is our mid pivot for R1 mid pivot. So that'd be our first target for the day. That'd be like I said, the mid pivot, and R1 itself is at 65.58. So that'll put us right up here near Thursday highs for the first serious pivot for the day. I honestly don't know if we can get that far, but it's of course all this stuff starts whenever I start my video. And if you watch my evening video, we came right off of our 200-day moving average and trading range lows for the NASDAQ, catching a nice little bid going on here. And it's still, we're still quite weak on this move. Ultimately, we want to see a move back up to the 6,600 on the NASDAQ. So we'll see what happens. This morning, I'm really not seeing too many outliers on the volume on the NASDAQ. You have the exception of Apple, Amazon, Baba, and Baidu. So I might look at those charts here in a minute. Let me just do the now we are below our weekly value, and to me of the three, the IWM is looking the weakest here. So be concerned about the Russell, in my opinion. Our first target here would be the 150.50 area. If we could get a market bounce here. And it's not even coming up to the 23.6 fib zone on this downtrending channel. So in my opinion, the three, if any are going to break the channel, the Russell seems to be like it's going to lead the way to the downside. So we're still trading below our let's see, our daily pivots. Yeah, our daily pivot's 149.13, and we're still below that as of right now. Where the others, we're trading right at or above that. So keep that in mind. Relative weakness with the Russells to start the day here. On the volume this morning so far, AMD is catching a little bit of action here. We are below our weekly value, and right here, this is our monthly value, monthly values, and we broke down a double bottom yesterday. So it is catching some volumes, and it's popping this morning, but I'm not overly excited about it, even despite the volumes at this level. Now, Apple does seem to excite me a little bit here because it was coming off the bottoms yesterday before it was leading the markets higher. So, very interesting setup here. We are back into weekly value from last week and at the pivot already. So that's quite a bullish setup here. So I'm really watching Apple here because, like I said, it was leading off the bottom yesterday. We as far as our developing, we are well above our daily pivot, and we are currently trading on the S1 middle. So our first target would be the 169 area to the upside. So keep that in mind for if we were to catch some more than just a short squeeze this morning. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we are still below the trend line. We broke down. Yeah, the 169 area looks like quite a bit of resistance on Apple. So, but like I said, it was leading yesterday. So keep that in mind. We have a very strong bullish candle on Apple right off of weekly range lows this morning. So that's a $22 move in Apple off the lows this morning already. So keep that in mind, or not Apple, Amazon. So very strong situation. We are at the daily pivot already. And we are back in value. So if the markets were to catch a bid, logic would dictate that we're going to go all the way up to the 1443 area on Amazon today. Very bullish pattern. This will be the first one I'll be looking at to the long side potential here. So keep this one on your radar for a bottom fishing idea. The oversold situation in Bank of America, we're back to the volume point of control, weekly volume point of control. So in my opinion, a lot of the momentum drive to the upside is probably already priced into Bank of America. So we'll see how the markets open. We're getting a really nice bounce on the futures here so far this morning, but just keep an eye on your Bank of America. It does the Russell Russell lagging. That tells me that we're probably going to see the banks kind of lag this morning. So just keep that in mind when the Russell tends to outperform, the banks do too. So just wanted to keep that. We are at the bottom of a weekly, the weekly cloud, and we found some resistance. If the markets were to catch a bid, my target would be the 2980 30 area. Basically, yesterday's near yesterday's highs, but the 2980 area would be my resistance for Bank of America. I just know that BABA is still catching a call activity, large institutional call activity, and we closed right outside the long-term weekly trend as of yesterday, and we're already gapping up right back into trend today. So this could be an amazing buying opportunity if these markets are catching a bid. So just keep this one in mind. I almost took this to the long side overnight, but I scared myself out of it. But it looks like that a bid is coming into BABA. Boeing, it is gapping up with the rest of the market here. It is showing a little bit more weakness versus the others. And there is more China talk out this morning. They're planning on, we got $50 billion in tariffs we're talking to putting on Friday, and they're going to announce the intellectual property stuff. And they came out and they were basically spouting that they were going to have in kind the same level of tariffs against this second round of tariffs. So just keep that in mind. That's really going to start hurting the airlines and some of these high-flying stocks if China starts putting tariffs on some of these other industries that because Trump is going after the intellectual property rights. AK Steel is catching a little bit of bid this morning. I bring this up because you're getting volume this morning, and there are two steel companies reporting earnings this week. So, and we've had some the whole tariff news and everything. This is going to be the first opportunity for U.S. steel companies to start coming out with their guidance given the new tariff situation. So there could be a very positive situation going on here for the steel stocks this week if the markets were to hold. And the last one I'm going to mention here, and that's American Airlines. It's been kind of trying to hold this 200-day moving average, and it dips below it, and then it rallies. It has a good rally and stuff. We have the same situation here, and we are getting a little bit of bid. We're up to the 50-25 area. Yeah, so just keep this in mind because we have drifted away from the weekly. We took a pretty sharp dive away from our weekly value area. So this could see a substantial upside if the markets were to continue to catch a bid. So I just wanted to mention these things. I am in the camp that we want to be looking for places to short the market going into the end of the week, in my opinion. I think we're most likely to break these channels. Apple kind of messed me up because with it leading to the upside, and before yesterday, it had on the FANG side, it was showing relative weakness, and then when it turned around and started showing some relative strength, yesterday's closed. It's got my thesis of how what's going to happen with these markets a little bit screwed up. So, but at any rate, I'm still looking for areas to short until proven otherwise because there's too many things that are breaking their FibFan ranges. So that's why I'm really thinking we got a lot more downside risk than we have upside potential. And what we're probably seeing this morning is